Now Herpa has finally managed to release the first bunch of Etihad Choose livery models, and on first glimpse they do look promising. Can they live up to the expectations? We will find out after the drop. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 787-9 of Etihad Airways. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside. At the top of the box we have the Etihad branding, and of course we also have some idea about the livery from the front of the box. That's a lovely box design which unfortunately isn't followed through with the backside. That's a big letdown. The only thing we really should mention here is the fact that it is a limited edition. And here she is, the Boeing 787-9 of Etihad Airways in their special Choose Japan livery. Now, these special liveries were launched as a tribute to ADNOC's key international trading markets, industry partners, and Etihad Airways destinations. ADNOC is a state-owned oil company of the UAE. But enough said about that for now. Let's focus on the aircraft model at hand and let's see what it has to offer. We start off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the by now usual Etihad Airways color scheme, which looks really awesome in my opinion. We do also have a little bit of detailing on the horizontal stabilizers, and then on the fuselage we find the full registration code of the aircraft, and at the very tail of the aircraft we have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the top of the fuselage we then find the addition of the set dome, which I think Herpa has done a rather decent job with. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then have the Etihad Airways branding, under which we then have the company slogan "From Abu Dhabi to the world," and of course the writing of "Choose Japan." We do also find the flag of the UAE. When we look at the cockpit section, then we will see that we have of course the cockpit windows and the window wipers. Above the cockpit windows we then find the last letter of the registration code, and we do also have the circular marking around the radome. From there we can then move on to the engines, or more specifically the engine nacelles, which have been kept in all white but do carry the ADNOC branding and the silver leading edge, but that's all for printed details. That's a shame. However, what is very nice is the physical detailing of the engines. There, Herpa has really done an awesome job with the chevron nozzles, and of course also when we look into the engines from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. Then let us move on and take a closer look at the wings, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely, and we do also have the markings as to where to walk on the wing. That does look alright, but we have seen other Dreamliners with more detailing here in the past. The underside of the wings I think looks quite decent. Here we also find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. Then the landing gear of this aircraft model, well, that is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their Dreamliners, and honestly speaking there is not much to say about it. It looks quite alright. The only thing I'm missing here is just a little bit of printed detailing at the front landing gear. Then something that Herpa also does rather good with their Dreamliners are the ram air intakes. They do also look very lovely on this aircraft model. That leads us to the belly of the aircraft, which we should also talk about, because here we have a hole for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model. And unfortunately it does destroy a printed detail, which I think makes it even more unnecessary. And then last but not least, we do of course also have the doors to the cargo compartments here in the backside of the aircraft, and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 787-9 of Etihad Airways in the Choose Japan livery from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, for once the first glimpse impression actually seems to hold out. I mean, this is actually a really good model in my opinion. The print quality is really good. Herpa has done a great job in replicating this Choose Japan livery with the blossoming cherry trees or cherry flowers. The only thing I have to say is that if Herpa had just added a few more details that are specific to the aircraft and not the livery itself, they could have elevated this model to a whole different level, but they didn't. Still, the livery is great and Herpa has executed it well, so yes, I would say this is an aircraft worth having in one's collection. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.